Okay, my friend, we are live. We are live with mega agent Mike Wall, someone I've known only for three years, man. I've only known you for a short period of time because you reached out to me like right when you got into real estate, and one of the few things that I've ever seen, I've never seen this not happen. You told me you was going to kill it in real estate, and you just got into real estate. What industry were you coming out of?
Came out of, I worked for a company called Modern Office Methods down in Cincinnati. We actually sold copiers and document solutions. So that was a grind, man. That was a grind
Yeah.
for sure.
So you had sales training.
Yeah, definitely had sales training.
I don't know that I've ever seen anyone grow as fast as you've grown. I mean, so let's give it some context, color it up. You got into what, November or was it May of 2014?
Yeah, so I was in corporate America in 2013, and I started calling expired leads in October-November timeframe in 2013. And then by May of 2014, I had 44 listings, and I just went to my wife and I said, hey, babe, I need to quit my job. You know what I mean? It's costing me more money to be at my corporate job than it is to sell real estate. She said, do your thing. And I never looked back, man. That first year, sold 57 houses. That was 2014. Second year, 2015, sold 104 houses. Third year, 2016, sold 187 houses. And then last year, 2017, sold 309 houses for $43.3 million.
Yeah. So literally that three year span, you grew to over 300 transactions. I don't know that I've ever seen that done. Mike Reese did it pretty close, but it did the same thing what you're just describing. I mean, it's incredible how success is duplicatable, but those are just unheard of numbers. So, man, I'm glad to have you on the call here today and sharing your big decision you made to leave Keller Williams, which is a great company. I know you have a lot of respect for, or at least I'm assuming you still do, based on this whole transition for the company. Yeah. So talk about this. I mean, we've talked over the years, a handful of times as you've been killing it, growing your business, and then literally just like that, you see eXp, you look at the model. What was going through your mind? What were you thinking as you're looking at this model and you're trying to decide? I mean, you were basically. What was your situation? Because I think everybody needs to understand you're not just a Keller Williams agent. You were looking at ownership opportunities. You were looking at a lot, going even deeper into that business relationship with Keller Williams. So what was the scenario that you were in whenever we shared with you eXp?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think like for me, the big thing was that, I kind of pride myself in looking and see what like the industry giants are doing, and I try to stay pretty connected to that. So obviously I'm paying attention to you and Mike and some of the other big guns, and when I started to hear some things about eXp, and I got really curious, and I think that's the first, that's probably the first stage of any change is curiosity, right? So I started to do some research, and it just happened to happen at the same time that we were transitioning potentially into opening a new market center, which I had some ownership interest or potential ownership interest in. And it was a great opportunity, I think. But at the end of the day, I had to think about, when you run a giant real estate team, you think about yourself, right? But you also think about the people that have been loyal to you and the people that back you up. And so, in making my decision to forego that opportunity with Keller Williams and join eXp, I was, a big part of that decision was thinking about, the people that are on my team. And because I knew if I went to Keller Williams and I opened up that market center that, that only benefited me. You know what I mean? That my percentage of ownership would only benefit me. It would not benefit the people that are on my team. And, in looking at eXp, everybody's an owner. You know what I mean? And not just me. I mean, I can give my agents an ownership stake in the business through revenue sharing and stock options, which Keller Williams just could not provide. So, you'll never hear me say anything bad about Keller Williams. Again, I think it's a great company. It was not an issue with Keller Williams. It was just a better opportunity for us, I think, long term to investigate eXp and then ultimately to jump ship and come over to eXp because I could provide that platform for my agents who want something more out of life than to just sell real estate.
Right. I had a conversation this morning. We were talking about, the roller coaster. I mean, all agents, I mean, you didn't have a roller coaster. Yours kind of went just like that. But most real estate agents, their careers, and most of our agents on our teams, they have these good months, bad months, these roller coaster, rides in their business. And, not to say that this is, first of all, I think that anybody that partners with you, partners with us together at eXp has a much better chance of increasing their business and being more successful in real estate. You can't really argue that, that you can learn from people that are successful in the business, and the alignment that we have at eXp is to help people be more successful. So, that's an obvious, but I think, what becomes really obvious is, to me, number one, agents don't have retirement plans, most of them. And there's not really a good vehicle like that that's available. And I think eXp provides a very solid, retirement plan, especially for agents that are getting in early when the stock is actually, really low at this point. We know the company is going to grow. That's going to be a good investment over time. But then, the revenue share thing, I mean, it's just unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it. And, it makes sense. They want to give back to the agents that are a part of helping the company grow. So instead of, doing it the traditional way of having a region and having to pay someone, in a region to go build out, infrastructure and sell franchises and bring on a certain number of agents before you open your next office. I mean, that's one way to do that. But instead of paying for all of that infrastructure and all those parts of the business model, why don't we just give money to the agents that are doing the deals and bringing on people into the company instead? So, they basically just reallocated that money into the revenue share program. But for agents that, and it's not about being a recruiter, it's just about, listen, this is a great company, check it out. And, right now, not very many people still even know. I think a lot more people know about eXp now, that people like you've joined. But, that agent can make $2,000, $3,000 a month in a revenue share just because they tell a handful of their friends that they do business with about the company. $2,000 a month is life-changing for a lot of agents when we have those ups and downs in your business. So, I just think it's a really brilliant business model. I mean, it's not that there's something wrong with Keller Williams. It's not that there's something wrong with Coldwell Banker. It's not that there's something wrong with being independent, but this is just a really good business model.
Right. And, you talk about, like, and we all know, we know the transaction treadmill, right? It's like you can sell your way out of anything, right? But, we always have those, especially, I mean, you look at the agent population, they've got good months and they've got bad months. And you talk about passive income. I mean, I own rental property, and, it's really hard to put together a good passive income stream through rental property. And you still got to deal with tenants. You got to deal with contractors. I mean, this is an insane opportunity, and we did not want to miss out. We didn't want to be the last ones to jump ship. Like right now, I mean, as I look outside of my office here, it's just, it is literally a blank canvas, and we get to go paint it. You know what I mean? And we know what kind of opportunity this is. And so we want to be able to use platforms like this and out into our community to be able to spread the word about eXp, because we know it's life-changing, not only for us, you know what I mean, but for them as well.
Just for doing the things they do anyways. You sell a house, your first house, you get some stock. You tell someone about eXp, they sell their first house, you get some stock. I mean, and that's not, 50 shares right now, just based on the sliding scale, as they grow, it's 50 shares today. But, 50 shares is, $600-700 today, is the value of that stock. And of course it vests over 3 years. But, what's it going to be worth in 3 years? My bet it's going to be worth a lot more. So, what a great opportunity just for doing the things you're already doing in real estate. Where would you rather be hanging your license? You want to be independent? We talk about, you probably considered going independent at some point. We went independent. And your reason, huh?
I said, y'all did it, man. Y'all went independent and still came back. I mean, that's
hard. That's here's the thing you still got to deal with when you're independent. You got to, besides from having to manage all the, the legal side of things and doing all the compliance and all that, you get rid of all that when you join eXp. But, you still got to deal with, the value proposition to recruit and retain agents. And that's the business that you're in. If you're a real estate broker, you are in the recruiting and retention business. You're not in the selling real estate business. You're in the recruiting of agents business. That's what every real estate company is in the business of. as agents, we are the consumer to the brokerage, and that's not how a lot of people are thinking. But when you look at every Coldwell Banker, Century 21, Keller Williams, they're the management of those companies is how many people did you recruit this month? They didn't ask how many homes you sold this month. They asked how many people did you meet with this month. They're a recruiting model, and that's what real estate is. So when you recognize that, when you're building a big team and you realize, okay, I'm not just in the selling houses business, I'm in the recruiting of agents and retention of agents. What's the best model for me to attract more agents? Well, that's when you start thinking, when you look at eXp, you're like, I mean, why would I ever want to compete with this? I sure wouldn't want to compete with this, because there's not I don't know of an answer that would make a better opportunity than this. So
no, I mean, it's a game changer, man. And I think the companies like right away that I really feel sorry for are the Coldwell Bankers and even some of the mom and pop brokerages, unfortunately. It is, you said, bringing the revenue back to the agent. And I remember writing this down when I was doing my research, what a novel idea for the people that do all the work. You know what I mean? What a novel idea for the people that do all the work. They should get the revenue. You know what I'm saying? They're out doing all the work. You know what I mean? They're working 7 days a week. They're working, 100-hour weeks. They're busting their butts and they're making it happen. So, what more can you give them when you talk about revenue share and stock options? I mean, go out. Hey, listen, you can run the same business, do the same thing you do every day, and then just in addition to that, now you can build some retirement. Now you can build some passive income. You know what I mean? And I think that we can. I really want that to resonate with people, because there's so many real estate agents. Even if I look around my community here, and they don't have anything. They've been selling real estate for 25 years. Some of them are 70 years old, man, and they got nothing unless they sell another house. Nothing.
I know. Yeah, and it's sad, because I think I look up, it's 10 years go by like that, it feels like to me. And I did the same thing. I bought a bunch of rental property trying to create passive income. Man, those things, I mean, I write a check every year to my rental property. Like, when you really think about how much money you have to make to create a passive income opportunity, it's not near as easy as everybody tries to make it sound. So, it's a crazy opportunity. So, I'm curious, when we were at the mastermind in Jackson Hole, and me and Andrew Gadosh were talking, to you on the phone one morning, and we were, kind of talking through it. And at that point, you texted me a little bit later in the day, and you said, "What did you do to me?"
Yeah.
What was going through your mind when, was there a moment where you saw that you just knew, you're like, I know I'm doing this? Or what was going through your mind whenever, you were watching the webinar? And by the way, I posted the webinar for anybody who hasn't seen the webinar. Invest the 60 minutes. That's all I can tell you. The people that invest the 60 minutes, once you see it, you can't unsee it. Just take the time to watch the webinar. And if you don't, then, you can, stick your head in the sand if you want to, but that's what I would recommend you do. So there's a link here you can go to watch that and learn a little bit more about the whole opportunity. But what was going on in your mind?
I think that was the PG version of my text, by the way.
That was the PG. Yeah. I definitely toned that one down a bit.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it's like it really happened kind of quickly. You know what I mean? And when I got the link for the video and we watched it, and I brought, I have a business partner, John, and another guy named Jay who came in and watched the video too, and they were like, I was like, what's wrong with this? Like, tell me something, this is not right. You know what I mean? It's
what
like,
am I missing?
Right. Yeah. What is the catch? You know what I mean? And we just started to we did more research and we were hot and heavy into it, man, because, we kind of had to make a decision quickly about what we wanted to do, because it was either pursue this other opportunity with KW or take our team to eXp. And so, we couldn't find anything wrong with it, man. It was like, and by the time we considered, what we wanted to do, it was like, we're doing it, man. We got together. I just remember saying, and we said, we're doing it. We got to talk to everybody, but the decision's been made. And so, that video, I think that you sent, that was key, man, because, it really broke it down, and it just provided just maybe kind of a third party view. Because you're an owner, but you're not an owner. You know what I'm saying? And you guys put it into layman. And I think that, for everybody that's watching, they really need to go see that video, because, number one, you can do that on your own time. You can do it in confidence. And number two is it's really going to drill down to you, why it's important that, you consider everything that you're watching, everything that you're seeing. And you may want to watch it more than once. Because I can tell you right now, we've probably seen it 7 or 8 times. And, we're sending it out to our team. And, we're getting texts back like, man, this is incredible. And it's one of our, it's one of the tools that we're using, to get the word out about eXp.
Right. Right. I want to give a shout out to somebody who one of the very first books I ever read in my life that's watching this broadcast and that's Michael E. Gerber, who's watching this right now. Mr. Gerber, thank you so much for everything you've done for us entrepreneurs. I think I would probably not be where I'm at if I hadn't read your book, and I know Michael Reese, my business partner, feels the same way. So just wanted to give that shout out as I saw he was watching this here. So. And in fact, I've had the opportunity to meet him one time in one of the coaching groups that I was with in California. So a lot of respect for him, and the dream room is still something that I think we still apply, to our business model and trying to think and grow and into what it is that we really want in that perfect day. So much love there for Mr. Gerber, and thanks for tuning in. So let me ask you this. This is a question I get. I had 2 things. So first I had a conversation with a mega agent, 1,000+ transactions yesterday, and I believe they're definitely coming on board. And the question was, why not do it yourself? And for me, saying I got a lot of the bumps and the bruises, along the way, from trying to build it. And when you think about, first of all, the cloud-based, the cloud is what makes this disruptive. It's not, when you think about Netflix and Airbnb and Uber, what's disruptive about those models is, they're the cost, the change in the structure of cost as it relates to the business model. Uber doesn't have to own a bunch of taxi cabs. They don't have to go out and buy a bunch of cars. That's this is the same thing when you think about this one big company that we're all owners of, is they don't have to go out and buy and open real estate companies and put bricks and mortar up and grow the business that way. So it's just it's a shift in the model. But the cloud is what really, I would have never dreamed that up in a million years. I would have never said, hey, let's put the real estate brokerage up in the cloud. I just didn't see that coming. Didn't see it coming at all. But that's really what enables it. When you go into the cloud, I took my son Braden. He just got licensed. He's 19. Yesterday got his license. And we were in the cloud, and I was taking him through to agent services, and I said, hey, can you tell Braden what you guys do here? And he's like, man, this is crazy, but why would you ever go into the office? That's how he sees it. Like, why would you ever go into the office if you can just do anything you need to do from right here? And it's really, it's like more accessible than generally if you're in whatever real estate office you're in, catching somebody where you can talk to them and get an answer to a question, not always the easiest thing to do. So that cloud-based model is really what I think is really fascinating about this, and I don't know that anybody's going to be able to duplicate that very quickly.
What's crazy, man, is my partner John,
that could be doing a training. We could all be doing training for each other. You know what I'm saying? Like our teams can all benefit because we're aligned. We can literally be doing superstar training for our teams across the country. Whereas you would take flying, staying overnight, going to an event. You would never really, you just can't recreate that dynamic. And it's pretty fascinating. What I've been really interested to see is this culture they've created is amazing. You think, okay, well, it's a cloud-based company. Well, there goes culture. There's no baloney. I mean, there's more culture here than I've seen in any company. I mean, everybody is trying to help everybody be more successful, and just a really cool thing to witness and be a part of. I'm just fascinated by it, to be honest with you. I'm just glad that I was fortunate enough to see it. Thank you, Al Stasik, who I know is probably watching. He's, if he hadn't made me watch it, I would have probably not, I wasn't thinking, oh, I'm going to move brokerages. I mean, that wasn't what I woke up that day thinking, but I'm really glad that, he pushed me to watch it, and I was open-minded enough to see it, just like everybody else that watches it and comes on board. So
here's one thing you just reminded me of too, because that key word you just said is culture. Culture is the key word, you know what I mean? And what's great about what we're doing is, no, you don't have to have an office space, but you can have an office space. And, so when you talk about, being with Keller Williams, that's another restriction that they have is, they sell specific territories. And for me to go open a mega agent office, I've got to pay, several $1,000s, you know what I mean, to go do that. And I just, like with eXp, and, obviously every state's different, but I can tell you here in Ohio that we can apply for a branch office and go out and find office space, and we can create an office space for our team, and we can control the culture there. You know what I'm saying? So the big one for us, Jay, is I can tell you, it's like what we're trying to do here is create an unbelievable culture of elite agents that want to be successful, that are driven, that when they walk in the door, all they want to do is what everybody else is doing. And that's work hard. We work hard, we prospect, we do what it takes to be successful, but we play hard too. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yep. And not like your quote right behind you there, never get so busy making a living that you forget to make a life, right?
Yeah. That's for sure, man. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So what what are your plans? So like, and I'm curious too. You're looking at this mega office you guys were going to open, another market center. I mean, what would be the cost for just that one office to put in place for that you were looking at that opportunity?
Well, I mean, the last time that we talked, the Keller Williams buy-in for the market center is $250,000. That's just that's to make application.
Right.
And,
so that
doesn't include brick and mortar.
No, that doesn't include brick and mortar?
Right.
Whew. And what kind of opportunity is that you get in that situation? I actually don't even know the answer, so I'm asking.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're an owner, right, it's just like what you were talking about. So when you talk about revenue share and then you talk about profit share, right? Profit share is what's left over after, the owners get paid, right? And that's why we talked about that component of, bringing my agents to the right place where, it wasn't a trickle down effect. They were getting actual revenue share. But, the investment, I think from the standpoint of a market center at KW was the $250,000, on the buy-in for the market center. And then you've got brick and mortar, and then you've got, the other expenses that would be included in doing stuff like that. But, I can tell you right now that wasn't the big issue for us. You know what I mean? That never was. And like I said, we could have made that investment and that wouldn't have been an issue at all. But, the things that we wanted to consider is that the future? Is a $3.5 million building, is that the future? Is that where I want to put my money? You know what I mean? And, not necessarily saying that I would have been the one that bought the building, but, that's just not where we're going. That's just not the future that we saw for ourselves.
Right. And the future for real estate for that matter. So good thing with that, I'm just grateful for moments like that didn't happen 3 weeks after you just opened it. You know what I'm saying? Wouldn't you just be sick to your stomach?
That's what I was saying, man. The timing was perfect. It really was. And I think a lot of people were really upset with us, because they thought we had been planning this, and we hadn't. I mean, I reached out to you literally, 2 weeks ago, and then we moved really quickly, and I would never want to betray the trust of those people and those friends that I made over there, but some damage is hard to undo. You know what I mean? And it wasn't because of us, and we never had any hard feelings towards these people, and I hope on some level that we can recover from that. But we had to do what was right for us and right for our team. You know what I mean? And that's why ultimately we made the decision to come over.
Right. Yeah, I think obviously it's got to come to a shock. I mean it's shocking the whole world right now. Everybody. I mean, I know what's going on right now. I'm getting texts left and right from people at Family Reunion and other agents across the country that I've known for years at other companies. They're like, "What the hell is going on with eXp? This thing is blowing up." I was like, "I told y'all. It's hard, once you see it, you can't unsee it." So, I don't know. They'll all survive. I mean, they'll all make it. I'm sure they're not going to go under, you know what I mean? But for those of us that are, that see the opportunity and want to, I just like, what I love about this opportunity more than anything, literally it's working with people like you every day, being in business with you, being a partner with you. That's what I've always wanted. How do we put all our fires together, make one big fire and all win together? And this just completely aligns that. I'm going to help you. I'm going to help your agents. I'm going to give you everything we've ever created in training to help them be successful. Anybody else they bring into the company, they're going to get the same value. So it's cool to be able to, get up every day, do what you love, work with people you love working with, and then ultimately not have to ask for a credit card at the end of the conversation when you're trying to help somebody. And that's just, a platform that I've never seen, the opportunity like this before. And the good news is, we all get to work together and have fun and grow this thing as big as we want to grow it. And I'm curious because I know you're a big thinker. When you came to me before you'd even really been in real estate a year and you're telling me you were going to do 300 transactions, I knew you as a go-getter. But what was your, what do you see now? Like, how are you looking at it differently as far as your team goes and what's possible? What do you see that's, what do you see on the horizon for you?
Yeah, I think that is a great question because like when I wrote that letter to you, 4 years ago or 3 years ago, whatever it was, I was speaking from a different point of view. You know what I mean? I was an agent. Right. That's what I was excited about, is being an agent. And, right. You know this better than anybody else because you've done it at a very high level, is, you go through that evolution, right? From agent to business owner or from agent to entrepreneur to business owner. And so, right now, your decisions become more people-based. You know what I mean? It's like, right. And that's why, I keep going back to that part about, our decision having to do with, what was the best situation for our people. And so right. Every decision that we make now is all about our people. And, we talk about culture, but, so I see the vision for us is, and you talk about your 10+10 challenge is getting my people in and then helping them start to spread the word and help them, create that passive income stream. So my focus right now, while we still got to go out and sell real estate to pay the bills, and we want to do that, right? Is to start getting very intentional about helping them support other agents, get the word out, and build their passive income stream through stock options and through revenue sharing. So that's my main focus, and then just obviously paying really close attention to what you guys are doing and just kind of playing off that.
Yeah. I think this what I'm starting to already see, and you already have some space, which I think creates an opportunity. I think there, I got a 2- and 4-year-old. I literally have to wall off like this, I have like couch cushions and stuff trying to block off my kids from coming in here right now. So like, working at home with a 2- and 4-year-old is not something that is conducive to doing live broadcasts on Facebook. I can tell you that much. Now, can you do it in selling real estate? Yeah, but there's going to be people that want to have an office, and the business model, and I think some people have a hard time. They blur the lines between understanding that business model is one corporate real estate brokerage that doesn't have office space across the country versus should you have some office space, which is why they have a deal with Regus, which is an opportunity. Everybody can get into a Regus office across the country. But I believe that, creating that environment where you can come in is a new opportunity within this business model. So for agents that are joining eXp, there's an incentive for them to join with you and your market because they can, maybe leverage your office, and that might be a part of the business model. And, I'm seeing things every day that are different. It's like, I was on the phone with an agent from Virginia, and she was on somebody's team. She was on a 50-50 split on somebody's team, and it was I can't remember. It was a Keller Williams expansion team, and she wasn't happy, and she wasn't producing, and she wanted to join my team. And I recognize obviously at eXp I can recruit anyone into eXp, and they could actually join my team at eXp. Yep. So her average sale price is $600,000, and I'm scratching my head. I'm like, Now I've been in the coaching game, so I know that I can coach her and make her successful. And we could be on a 50-50 split, and she'd be happy, I'd be happy. She'd make money, I'd make money. But right. I started thinking about how many other teams, you can now have a team anywhere in the country that you want. You can partner with agents, provide some lead gen, some coaching, which again, what you're saying about, helping your team and helping the people, that's where fulfillment, like we get the most fulfillment, man. What makes me the happiest in the world is when somebody that, an agent on my team or somebody I'm working with, they make a change personally or mentally that changes their life forever, man. Like those are the things that, that we get fulfillment out at this level, that we're getting to do more and more of and focusing on helping people. So, now you can do that at scale across the country. And who's to say that, I don't know anything about the Australia real estate market, but it's not off limits. You know what I'm saying? This is a global brand in eXp. I don't know where it's going to stop, but I'm sitting back too, kind of like you're saying. I want to see what all opportunities unfold here because it really is that incredible of a company. We just don't know what we don't know yet. So very, very cool, ideas around how to work within this business model.
And that that's just it. It's like, and that's why, sleep has been a challenge, brother. You know what I mean? Sleep has definitely been a challenge. And I was talking to, my business partners, John and Jay, last night about, I'm seeing emails at like 1:50 in the morning. John was talking about being up at 3 o'clock in the morning. And, the funny thing for me is I'll wake up at like 4 or 5 and I can't go back to sleep because just like you said, you can't unsee it. It's like, how do I play, you just play off all the different angles about, how you can, like what you can do, in terms to help your people, in terms of, obviously helping yourself, and then other business model ideas. But, I think at the end of the day, it's like, it all comes back to, it's not about me. It really isn't. Like I have a duty now, a due diligence to go out, a fiduciary responsibility, I feel like, to go out and spread the word about eXp, because listen, if you don't come over now, when are you going to come over? You're going to come over, you're going to be one of the last people that come over?
Last.
No. Why would you want to be last? Because what is it like, then the pictures, it's halfway painted or 3/4 of the way painted. Like right now is your time, man. If you want to make a passive income stream, now's the time to get in, because listen, we're still calling people and it's like, tell me more about this eXp. I haven't heard of eXp. You know what I mean? And brother, listen, I'm happy to have those conversations all day, every day. You know what I mean? So if anybody's listening to this and they don't know anything about eXp, call me. I'm happy to have that conversation with you.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's unbelievable. Every single day I talk to somebody in the market and they're like, there's only 22 agents in my whole state. Like, it just, there's so many people that just don't even know. Like, and again, man, once you see it and you lose sleep like we have for, literally for me now 4 months, I've been going on. Every day at 4:30 I'm up. I can't sleep. It's just unbelievable. But, again, it's just, it's a great opportunity. Either you see it or you don't. We can't convince you. The evidence is coming before you. If you watch what successful people do, you assume they must be smart. They must have made some good decisions along the way, and they're making this move. Why? Why are they doing it? Do your investigation. Don't listen to the naysayers. Listen to the people that are consistently making moves that are in alignment with what you want with your goals. And the good news is you can partner with us, and we're going to be and have an incentive to make you successful. So it's a pretty cool opportunity, man. I'm just thrilled to work with you, man. I love working with people like you, and I know we're going to kill it. I know that Ohio's got to have probably now the most eXp agents of any state, just because we got some ballers in Ohio. So you guys are killing it. Yeah, it's
I think we had like 50. We had the broker was in our office on Friday, and he was talking about. He's like, man, what's going on down here? He's like, there's like 50 agents in the last 6 weeks that have converted to eXp, and like I said, I think we have like 4,500 agents in our local board here, and then if we tap into Cincinnati, we probably got another 7,000 to 9,000 agents down there. So like I said, we're going all in. You know what I mean? We're all in. We're going to spread the word. We feel really good about it. We've tried to poke the holes like you have, and we've seen what people are doing. So now it's time to let everybody know.
You got it, man. There's a couple questions here. I'll answer maybe just as we're going, since you guys are watching. So Daniel Swope is asking, what happens if you sign up the eXp and you leave after a few years? What happens when you want to retire? So yeah, as long as you have an active license, at eXp, you can continue to get your revenue share. So it's not like like willable, so to speak. But you have the ability, as long as you keep your license active, to continue to earn that revenue share. Obviously, your stock vests after 3 years, so you can keep that. So you just want to keep your license active. If something was to happen to you, there's actually a clause in the independent contract agreement that states you actually have 12 months to replace. So if someone was to die or become incapacitated, you have 12 months to replace that person in that spot with someone in the family or whatever the case may be. So that's there's a way for you to continue for this to be a really a lifelong legacy game changer for you, and that's I think that's what everybody's seeing. So hopefully that answered that question. So Brian, what's up? Eyes wide open. I know Brian Sousa's killing it. All right, Cindy Merritt. Hey, Cindy, how you doing? We're happy to have you on the team as well. All right, who else we got here? See any other questions? I don't see any other questions here, but if you have questions, I would say reach out, man. Reach out, talk to Mike, ask him. Ask him. He's going through the process of coming on board and been a part of it. He can answer your questions. We're here to help you, man. And when you join with Mike, there's a link here that goes to a webinar. Ask questions. Be inquisitive. Don't sit on your duff on the fence, man. Ask questions and get clarity of what the benefits are. What are you missing? The best question you could be asking yourself right now is, what am I missing? And keep trying to poke holes in it, because you'll get to the same point we did, where you just realize there's nothing less to poke at. And we want to partner with you. We want to help you grow your business, and we want to bring you into the family of eXp. So if it makes sense, we'll see you there. Anything else you want to add as far as the person that kind of went through this process that you went through just recently, and anything you'd want to add?
I would just say, now's the time, because if you wait too long, and not that there won't be opportunity, because eXp will still be a great company, and it's still going to change. It's going to do what it's going to do. That's just
Right.
the bottom line. But if you really want to create, passive income, if you really want to create a retirement for yourself, then you need to think seriously about making the switch, because at the end of the day, if you don't do something for yourself, and you can talk about a 401k, and that's great. It's great to diversify, but you don't want to have to sell real estate for the rest of your life to try to provide an income, because it is a grind, man, and there's going to be more and more people coming after your job. That's just the bottom line.
Right.
And so if you can get into this right now, if you can get in right now, then the early adopters are the ones that are going to be 7, 8 years, 10 years from now. They're going to be the ones that are really bringing in the passive income. And I don't mean just $3,000 or $4,000 a year. I mean, I'm talking $3,000 or $4,000 a month and more. So now is the time. If you're going to get in, now is the time. And talk to me or Jay, and we'll be happy to answer any of your questions and help you transition over. And obviously, with all confidentiality, just
Sure.
let us know.
Absolutely. Love it, man. It's always great. Have a great Saturday, man. I know you're killing it. And if there's anything I can do for you, you got me. I got I got your back. Anything you need, let me know, my friend.
All right, brother.
All right, man. Have a great day.
All right, you too.
Yeah, dude, Michael Gerber.
We good?